Morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. Na-download nyo na yung module? Paki-download mo na at wala na naman akong presentation. Hindi na naman gumagana.
Sir, pad nga po sa group ng FB, sir. Wala pa po ako doon.
Ay hala. Sige, sige. I-accept ko na lang after ng ano natin.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, so I think we can start already. Now, while waiting for them, let us introduce already the topic for today's session. So, we are already on the module 3 on the subject drug education and vice control. I do hope na dinownload nyo na yung module na sinend ko kasi nga there are some information and images kasi na nandun na I wanted to show to you but internet connection na naman ang problema, so I cannot be able to share screen right now. Okay, so we are going to be covering the following topics. We have here, anyway, our topic for today in relation to drug education and vice control will be the drug trafficking routes and cartels. So we're going to be conducting a continuation of our past lecture in relation to illicit drug trafficking. So on our previous lecture, we just discussed the different drugs that are commonly sold in the global market, no? In the global market in relation to drug consumption and production, no? So ngayon, pag-uusapan naman natin are who are the groups and where are these different illicit drugs are being transported and consumed. Okay? So we have here the following topics. No? We will be talking about drug cartels. We're going to be talking also about the Golden Triangle. No? We're going to be talking about the Golden Crescent. Ito yung mga images sana na gusto ko ipakita. The Golden Triangle, the Golden Crescent, no? And the drug trafficking route, no? And the Balkan route. Okay? Anyway, meron naman yan sa module natin. I have attached the images of these different topics so that you can further visualize, no, kung ano yung pinag-uusapan natin. Especially we're talking about drug trafficking illustrations. Okay, so first is let's talk about the drug cartels. Yan. So pag sinabi kasi natin cartels during the early days, cartels are a term that was used, no, to define those group of merchants na yung mga business owners that has something to do with selling goods, no? Cartels ang tawag sa mga asosasyon ng mga merchants na to, no, na kung saan is nag-hoard sila, no, yung tinatawag nating hoarding, na wherein they're kumbaga iniimbak or minamanipula nila yung supply and demand so that they can maintain yung high price for different products. Let's say for example, no, bigas, no, para pataasin natin ang price ng bigas, no? Tayo na nagbebenta ng bigas sa isang lugar ay bubuo tayo ng asosasyon para nang sa ganun ay iisa ang ating desisyon at iisa ang ating galaw when it comes to selling rice and when it comes to pricing or establishing the price of the rice. So, pwedeng yung ibang stock natin ay hindi muna natin ilalabas sa merkado para lumiit ang supply ng rice, no? Magkaroon tayo ng false scarcity, no, of the supply dahil yung iba iniimbak natin. Sa ganyang pamamaraan, we can be able to increase the price of this commodity, no? Mapapataas natin ang presyo ng bigas. So, cartels ang mga tawag sa kanila, no? Cartels, yung mga grupo na ito. However, pumasok na dyan yung tinatawag nating illegal drugs and even if they are no longer considered as cartel right now, no? Cartels pa rin ang nakasanayan ng pantawag sa mga ganitong uri ng kalakaran, especially for drugs, no? So ngayon, drug cartels is referred as any criminal organization with the intention of supplying drug trafficking operations, okay? So, tinatawag nating drug cartel yung isang organization when they are involved in production of dangerous drug, no? Trafficking of dangerous drug, manufacturing of dangerous drugs, no? So lahat ng processes nito or lahat ng activities na to are all the activities that are transpiring within the drug organization or otherwise known as the drug cartel. So we have a lot of cartels, ano? Medellin cartel, Sinaloa cartel, Mexican cartel, lahat nitong mga kilalang drug organization or drug cartels na to are really established in their field. No? That is why sometimes pag napasok na ng cartels yung isang bansa, ang hirap na yung paalisin or ang hirap na yung gapiin, no? Because the one of the characteristic of drug cartel is they are sometimes they are very organized, no? We can say that they are also a criminal or yes, how do you call this? Organized crime group, no? Pwede natin silang tawaging organized crime group because they form or they have a certain set of rules, they have a set of guidelines, they have a set of officers and so on that will make sure that the operation of the organization will go smoothly, no? So in relation to that, I would like to introduce to you yung tinatawag nating basic structure of a drug cartel. No? So sabi nga natin, ang characteristic ng organized crime group, meron silang organisasyon. No? At pag sinabi nating organisasyon, ayan, meron niyang pinuno, meron niyang galamay, meron niyang mga workers, and so on. That's the characteristic of an organization. Tama? So if a criminal or a criminal group operates in such manner na meron silang hierarchy of authority, no, matatawag natin silang organized crime group. And since drug cartels are also the same, no, ganun din ang kanilang ginagawa. They are gumagalaw sila na merong batayan, gumagalaw sila na merong nagdidikta sa kanila. So there is a hierarchy of authority in the drug cartel. So we can call them also as organized crime group. Now, we have here the basic structure. Ito yung common na ma-observe natin sa mga drug cartels. Ito yung division of labors or ito yung mga tinatawag nating structure, no? Yung mga iba't ibang antas ng miyembro ng isang drug cartel. So we have here the falcons, no? Falcons from the Spanish word halcons, no? Or yes, halcons or halcones, I don't know, no? But the falcons, they are the lowest member of the rank, no? Doon sa isang criminal organization or doon sa isang drug cartel, ang mga falcons yan yung mga nandoon sa pinakamababa, no? Kumbaga sa military, they are the kafgu of the military forces. Sa drug cartels naman, the falcons are known as the ears and the eyes and ears of the organization. Kumbaga sila yung mga nandun sa mga streets, no? Nandun sa mga place of operation kung saan sila nag-ooperate at sila yung nag-observe, no? Sila yung nag-observe sa mga nangyayari sa paligid, no? Ng area of operation ng isang drug cartels, no? At sila ang nagre-report tungkol sa mga pwedeng impormasyong makatulong sa organization, no, in relation to the law enforcement activities, no, kung ano mang nangyayari doon sa area, if there is may police operation, no. At the same time, they're also looking into the activities of their rival groups kasi pag mga drug organization or criminal organization na yan, we do expect that they will have a rival in such meron silang rival, meron silang kakompetensya. So ang trabaho ng isang falcon, no, is to supervise all of this and report it to the report it to the drug cartel. No? So that's the falcon, known as the eyes and the ears. No? The falcons are the lowest in rank in any drug cartel. Okay? By the way, they are not the one who sells drug. No? Baka isipin nyo, siguro itong mga lowest na to or falcons na to, sila yung pinaka sila yung ng mga nagbebenta ng drugs na kung saan patingi-tingi. Hindi sila yon, no? Yun yung mga labas na sa organisasyon, yung mga yun, kumbaga mga ano nila yun, customer na ng cartel yung mga yun. Pero ang drug cartels is not involved in selling the drugs, no? Only his activities focus on gathering information, pertinent information that could affect the operation of the cartel, no? Okay, so next is we have the hitman, no? Or hitmen. From the Spanish word sicarios, no? Ito naman yung military, kumbaga ng isang cartel. They are the armed group within the drug cartel, no? At sila yung mga namumuno pagdating sa mga armed conflicts, such as if there will be an assassination that must be carried out, no? If there will be some kidnappings, no? They are also in charge of committing theft if necessary, extortion, no? And protection, the protection of the cartel, sila ang in charge dyan, as well as the protection of their plaza, no? Plaza in Spanish, no? Which definitely, if translated to their term, it would be their territory or turf. So they are the one who is acting as the police or military of the drug cartel, no? We have also the lieutenants or tenientes in Spanish, no? Lieutenants are considered as the second highest position in the drug cartel. So ang kanya namang responsibility, being a member of the drug cartel, is to supervise the activities of the hitmen and falcons, no? So usually ang lieutenants holds a certain territory, no? Meron siyang territory na kung saan is siya yung namumuno, no? Siya yung nagdidikta o siya yung namamalakad doon sa lugar na yon, no? At sa mga present member doon ng mga hitmen and the drug cartel. The falcons. So as we have stated, they're responsible for supervising the hitmen and the falcons within their own territory, no? At some point, pwede rin silang gumalaw na kung saan is they can assassinate or they can just decide to assassinate somebody, no? Which is considered low profile murder lang naman, no? Pag mga hindi naman ganun bigat na mga pagpatay, no? Usually a lieutenant could decide for that, no? In behalf of the leader of the cartel. Okay? So pag may mga kalaban silang nahuli, no? If it's not naman it's not the leader or it's just an ordinary member, no? Or someone, they could just execute that, no? The lieutenants could decide to execute that. So some of the command, no, especially for assassination, could be coming from the lieutenant itself, no? And lastly, ito yung pinakapinuno natin o pinakapinuno nila, no, yung mga tinatawag nating drug lords, no, or in Spanish they call them the capos, no? The capos. The highest position in any drug cartel, they are responsible, of course, of supervising the entire drug industry. So when it comes to the entire operation of the drug cartel, no, sila na ang namumuno or siya yung namumuno at tumitingin that the best interests of the cartel will be preserved. So they are involved in appointing territorial leaders, no, or yung tinatawag natin mga tenientes or lieutenants, sila yung nag-a-appoint, and at the same time, no, they're in charge also of making alliances, no, if meron silang kailangang buuhin alliances between either drug cartel groups or maybe the agencies of the government for that matter, no? Sila na yung mga namumuno or namamahala sa mga ganong issues. Okay, so drug lord is the highest, no, on the drug cartels. Okay, of course there are other groups that can be involved in the operation of the drug cartels. Marami pang iba dyan, gaya ng for example their producers and suppliers, no? Pero they are not basically a part of the entire structure. Na kumbaga itong mga ito is auxiliary na lang, mga additional outside alliances and so on. So mga kasama nila sa labas pero the organization, when we are talking about the cartel itself, hindi sila kasali sa main structure niya. Kumbaga mga support group lang to, no? So yung mga support group na yan are yung mga drug producers. They're the one who are making or cultivating drugs, or yes, producing drugs, no? And at the same time, the supplier, kung sino man ang nagbibigay sa kanila ng supply, no? Yan yung mga other supporting groups that aids the drug cartel, no? And of course, meron din yung mga other support group which are necessary, no? They're very necessary and they're very critical, no, to the continuous operation of the drug cartel, such as yung mga financiers nila, no? Yung mga supplier nila ng mga weapons, mga firearms, and yung mga money launderer nila, no? Yung mga kumbaga is nagmamanipula sa mga pera nila para nang sa ganun ay magmukhang legitimate ang pinanggalingan ng kanilang mga pera. So sila ay matatawag nating a part of the cartels as a support group, but not really full-time, no? Full-time member of the drug cartels, no? Pero kailangan sila, no? Usually yung mga ito are separate groups on their own, no? Meron silang sariling group, kumbaga. I mean is they themselves is a separate group, such as for example yung mga supplier nila ng firearm, no? Criminal organization din yan, nagdi-deal ng firearm. You can actually call them alliance than a support group, kasi they are their purpose on the organization or the cartel is very necessary for the cartel to continuously operate in a given territory. Okay? So that is how we define what is cartel, no? And I hope that when you encounter the word drug cartels, you have already an idea on how they work, no? And how they operate, how they are structured, and so on. Kaya kung titignan natin, it's really hard for an ordinary police officer, or even for a certain group of officer to beat the entire organization down, no? Kasi aside from this basic structure, no? Kumbaga sila, gobyerno rin sila on their own, no? They have supply, they have firearm, they have rules, they have sympathizers, no? And sometimes meron din sila mga protector who are also members of the government, no? Especially from the law enforcement or some other politicians. Yan yung mahirap kasi if the nation will not try to solve the problem as one, no? Ibig sabihin may mga kakampi sila sa administration, may kakampi sila sa law enforcement, half-baked kumbaga ang operation na yan. There are tendencies na mapahamak pa yung mga susong sa operation na yan. So I think the problem on this thing, no, especially kung napasok na ang isang bansa ng cartel, is a nationwide effort, no, from the community, from the politicians, from the law enforcers, and any other necessary institution in our country. They should be unified in working or in trying to eradicate the existence of drug cartels or drug operation in a country, no? Pero as long as we are not unified in such goal, hindi talaga sila mawawala. Okay, so we have here the Golden Triangle as another topic, no? This is very significant kasi history shows that it really depicts the history of the illegal drug trafficking, no? Actually, dalawa yan, the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent, no? The Golden Triangle is the area where the borders of Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar meet, no? Ito yung kumbaga is if we are going to look into the map, no, if we are going to draw a line between Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar, no, we will see that it will be forming a triangle. And why such connection? Anong connection ng tatlong bansa na ito? Ano yung common sa kanila? They had been the area of operation for a long time, no? napasok sila ng mga drug cartels, and they had been considered as the area of operation for drug production, consumption, and so on. Na? So, the CIA given them the name Golden Triangle, no? Because usually a lot of drugs are originating from that area, meaning it could be an entire territory of a certain cartel, no? Pwede kasing masabi natin at that area, no? Doon sa area na yan, sa Myanmar, sa Laos, and Thailand, could be the area, or the area of the operation of some drug cartels. So there is an increase, no? Or there is really a significant increase of drug production, no? Drug trafficking into these three countries. So the international commission on drugs and so on, had taken into had focused their attention in trying to resolve this problem on the Golden Triangle. No? Imagine that the Golden Triangle had been producing a lot of drugs. No? They had been one of the most producer of drugs, no, before they were surpassed by Afghanistan. No? This area, yung tatlong bansa na to which form the triangle, no, has been the gateway for the region's drug trade, no? Sila yung daanan, kumbaga sila yung minsan pinag-originatean pa ng drugs, no? Na dispose globally, no? It's considered as perfect for drug trafficking. Why? Because of its geography, no? Sa location niya, it's ano yan, maraming kagubatan, no? With regards to their political interests, no? Kung titignan natin, probably that in that area at that given time is lenient ang kanilang gobyerno when it comes to dealing with drug cartels, no? Yan yung minsan isa sa problema kung bakit napapasok ng drug cartels ang isang bansa. Either they are too corrupt, no? Masyado silang kurakot at gahaman sa pera, kaya kahit nakakasama sa seguridad ng isang bansa, pinapapasok nila, no? Kung wala talagang mga political leaders diyan who knows the danger of drug cartels, and who knows the danger of drugs itself, illegal drug trade, and so on, then they would just they would turn blind, no? Magbubulag-bulagan na sila sa mga ganitong usapin. So that's one of the reason also kung bakit napili, no, sa dami-dami ng bansa sa ating mundo, bakit dito nag-focus ang drug operation sa tatlong bansa na to, Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos. That's because of the following, no? Yung sinabi nga natin, the geography, no? And probably one factor is the crime and political interest of that country, of those countries that are involved, no? That is happening before us, no? When was the time that we were considered as a drug haven in Asia? Imagine that, no? Drug haven. Why? Because our government is not strict in dealing with drug problem. That's prior to Duterte's administration. Na bago ang Duterte administration. I think we were listed as number 1, prostitution haven, then drug haven. No? Drug haven. Kumbaga dito ang sanctuary ng mga drug user, kasi pag nandito ka, na gumamit ka ng drugs sa gusto mo, na I think bumili ka ng drugs na kahit gaano karami kung gusto mo, no, ay hindi ka gagalawin, as long as siguro we are talking about involvement of bribery, no, we're talking about the involvement of corruption. Kasi kung tignan natin before the Duterte administration, no, yung mga mayayaman, no, ay talagang they're just free to use drugs, they're just free to buy drugs how much they want, no? Pero nung nagkaroon na ng tinatawag nating serious drug war, no? Tignan nyo pati mga artista, politicians, na police, na at iba pang mga professionals na nahuli. So, kumbaga is nawalan na sila ng sanctuary, na nawala na yung kanilang safe place, kumbaga, na But if we are going to allow again, no, the existence of such, hahayaan na naman natin, no, na manguna ang corruption in relation to this, no, hahayaan na namang pumasok ang mga drug traffickers sa bansa natin kasi kumikita yung iilan, halimbawa kumikita yung politicians and so on, eh di balik tayo sa pagiging drug haven na naman ng drugs dito sa drug users sa Asia. Okay? So those are some of the reason why there's such an increase or there's such a focus of drug trade in this following country, as dubbed by the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, as the Golden Triangle. No? So the problem with regards to this is not only that the three countries were involved, no? Baka sabihin nyo, eh, di problema yan ng Thailand, problema yan ng Laos, problema yan ng Myanmar. No, no, it's not only that. Kasi remember, we are already very mobile, no? Even the early 90s, no? Mobile lang mga tao dyan. They can move products from countries to countries. So, hindi lang itong tatlong bansa na to ang nangangani, but also the adjacent countries. And we are there. Now, if you're going to look into the map, malapit lang tayo where the Golden Triangle is located. So, no, kapag nag-dispose sila ng kanilang mga drugs, where are they going to bring? No, saan nila dadalhin yung mga drugs na yan? Siyempre, doon sa mga malalapit na bansa. So we have Hong Kong, no, China, no, and also Philippines. That's true. Kaya wag mo sabihin problema nila yan. Kaya nga this is an international crisis because we are all affected. Not because somebody is cooking drugs in Thailand, no, that drugs or that same drugs will never reach, no, our country. That's not true. No, kasi they could just ship that, no, to our back door. Eh, pasok na yung drugs sa atin. Just like what happening in China. If the problem on drugs in China is increasing, no, and they're very strict in China with regards to dealing with drugs, saan ba tatakbo yung mga drug dealers na yan? Or drug cartels na yan? Doon sa mga bansa na kung saan is relax ang kanilang policies with regards to drugs. And minsan tayo yung tinatakbuhan. That's why there is an increase into our drug rate or drug use or drug consumption rate in our country. Ano? So that's the problem. It's not only the problem of the immediate countries, no, who is included in the triangle, but also the adjacent countries, no, yung mga malalapit doon sa area kung saan nag-ooperate ang Golden Triangle. Okay? So what are the drugs that they usually produce on the Golden Triangle? No? Well, they're the number one producers of opium and heroin before they were surpassed by the Afghanistan in the 21st century. So with regards to drug production, no, lahat or karamihan ng drugs before na nako-consume worldwide sa global market are coming from the Golden Triangle. However, they were surpassed already by Afghanistan. Okay? In relation to that, as we have stated, that was the situation before, but what is the situation right now? The situation right now is that the Golden Triangle is now one of the world's leading areas for the production of synthetic drugs. So we discussed naman what's the idea behind synthetic drugs and what are the nature of a synthetic drugs. So the Golden Triangle is still active. Active pa rin, aktibo pa rin ang drug operation and drug trade, drug trafficking in the three countries are involved, composing the Golden Triangle. And what they producing are the synthetic drugs. Sila ang number one. Sila ang one of the leading producers of synthetic drugs. Usually that involves mga methamphetamine, or hindi naman kaya meron yung yaba tablets na tinatawag natin, or crystalline methamphetamine and so on. So for their export, they usually export in East and Southeast Asia. So we are included there, Also in Australia and New Zealand. So that's the operation of the Golden Triangle right now. Imagine, when did this started to exist? Kailan nag-start mag-exist na madub ang mga tatlong bansa na yan as the Golden Triangle? And until now, have they solved the problem? Have they succeeded in eradicating the drug cartels operating in that country? No, because they are still operating. So that's how hard it is to deal with this problem, especially if really the entire nation will not unify to fight this battle against drug cartels and against illegal drugs. Another group of interests would be the Golden Crescent. The Golden Crescent is the name given to one of Asia's two principal areas of illicit opium production located in the crossroad of Central, South, and Western Asia. No? Ito naman yung mga bansa na involved onto the Golden Crescent. We have the Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan. No? And if we're going to look into the map, no, their mountainous peripheries define the crescent. That's why they are dubbed also as the Golden Crescent. Still, Asia. No? I have here an image of that, no, which I will be showing you in the recorded lecture. Now we have here the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent. No? So they are noted as the number one producers of drugs. That's why they are very known. No? And as you know, no, they are usually Asian countries. No? Now, as I've stated, the operation of the Golden Crescent are somewhat the same. No? Kasi with regards to the drugs that they're producing, ganun din, opium, heroin. No? However, they surpass already the Golden Triangle in terms of production of drugs. No? Kasi kung titignan mo yung mga bansang yan, for example, Afghanistan. No? Afghanistan has the Taliban. No? Alam niyo naman ang Taliban right now, I don't know if they really can be considered as terrorist group or criminal organization. No? But they had been being funded. No? They are being funded by the money coming from illicit or illegal drug operations. So since there are a lot of money involved here, ang laki ng perang involved dito sa mga drug operation na to, considering that Afghanistan is one of the, I think, the number one producers of heroin, opium, and other related drugs, then you would say that there is really a big problem burning up there. No? So, now, ang terrorist group nila doon who is fighting for liberation against the Western influence and so on, the Taliban, which succeeded in the past months, nakita natin yung balita with regards to that. They succeeded already taking over the government of the Afghanistan, so they're being funded by these illegal drugs. Okay, so that's what we need to know. So as you can see, bakit natalo or bakit hindi pa rin nawawala ang impluwensya ng Taliban? That's because they have a blood that keeps on running now and then because of this. Syempre ang organization is being funded by money. The blood of the organization is the money. The resources that they have depends upon how much money they have. So if they are being funded by some organizations, some cartels, then definitely they would have infinite supply of resources. Now the drug trafficking, the issues on drug trafficking. This is according to United Nations Office of Drug and Crime. That in the global market there is at least 430 to 450 tons of heroin present in the global market. So meron yang ganung kalaking supply, ganun kalaking supply na umiikot sa global market, and total of that, opium from Myanmar and the Lao People's Democratic Republic, at least produces 50 tons of it. So doon sa 430 to 450 tons na umiikot sa global market, sa drug market, 50 tons doon is galing sa Myanmar, which is part of the Golden Triangle, ano? While the rest of the amount of drugs that are circling in the global market amounting to 300 tons, no, of heroin and morphine, galing na yun exclusively sa Afghan opium. Imagine that, no? So napakalaki ng production na nangyayari dito sa Golden Crescent na to. That's why they even surpass nga yung sinasabi nating number one producers before, which is the Golden Triangle. Okay? And can you imagine also how much or how big the money that is coming in, no, to fund the this terrorist organization, no? So that could happen also if we would be very lenient. Our government would be very lenient in dealing with the drug problem, ano? Imagine mo kung dito pumasok ang like what happened in Maute, no? Maute, when they were nung natalo na sila and nagkaroon na ng search doon sa kampo nila, nakita nila that there's a lot of money, no? Millions of money present in the in their doon sa kanilang kampo, no? So where do you think did that came from, no? So that could either came from drug trafficking, arms smuggling, mga ganyan, no? Lahat na ng maisip mong illegal na pwedeng pinanggalingan yan, no? Pwede talagang doon manggaling yung mga yan. And they are being funded for that, no? They are being funded for that. So if a certain criminal organization will be funded with that much of money, just like what happened to Taliban, so you don't expect them to quit sooner, no? Baka mamaya mas mayaman pa sila sa gobyerno ng isang bansa na yan, okay? Now let's look into the routes that they're using. Kasi sabi dito, no? Since Afghanistan is the highest producers of heroin and morphine, no, which is approximately mga 380 tons yan, no? Ang kanilang nagagamit lang usually umaabot lang ng 5 tons. So kung nag-produce sila ng 380 tons, no, ang mako-consume lang ng mga Afghan customer nila or sila mismo will amount to 5 tons at least, no? Then where the remaining 375 tons will go, no? Kung sila nagpro-produce ng 380 tons, no, at ang kanila lang nako-consume is amounting 50 tons, no? So saan mapupunta yung iba? Yan na yung tinatawag nating o yan na yung mga dinadala sa mga iba't ibang bansa. Trina-traffic, no? Diyan na mag-start yung concept natin ng trafficking na kung saan is they will be transporting this remaining drugs, no, to their consumer countries, no? Sa mga countries na kung saan is nagde-dispose sila ng mga illegal drugs na to, mga products nila. So there's a very big bulk of drug supply that is being produced by this country, by Afghanistan alone, no? Now, with regards to the process of transporting those drugs, kasi hindi naman pwedeng i-deliver lang yan like ordinary parcels or ordinary cargoes na isakay mo sa aeroplano and so on. So they should be able to create, no, their own route, no? O ibig sabihin is kailangan nilang gumawa ng kanilang sariling daanan para nang sa ganun is doon nila ilabas-pasok yung droga at mga pera na involved dito sa activity na to. So with that, no, we have here the Balkan routes, no, na kailangan nating pag-usapan. Okay? So what is really the Balkan route, no? The Balkan route, Balkan route and the northern routes are the main heroin trafficking corridors linking Afghanistan to the huge markets, especially in Russia, no, and other part of the Western Europe. Now, the main focus na kasi of the Golden Crescent is more on the Western countries. Doon sila nagbabagsak ng kanilang mga products. While for Golden Triangle, mostly focus in Asian countries ang kanilang sinusuplayan. So this Balkan route traverses the Islamic Republic of Iran, which sometimes known as the Pakistan, that involves also Turkey, Greece, and Bulgaria. And with that is dito nila dinadaan yung mga drugs nila. Again, what are the reasons kung bakit kaya nakakalusot itong mga to? Kasi there are different countries involved there bago nila abutin ang Western Europe, bago nila abutin ang Russia. Ang dami-daming bansa nilang dadaanan, meaning ang dami-daming border that they need to cross, illegally. So that could either again go back to the issues that we cited, like for example, political corruption, leniency in the policies, and so on. Yun yung mga pwedeng dahilan. And because they succeeded in trafficking or in transporting their illegal drugs to from the area of production, from the source country to the consumers, then definitely we could say that such problem exists in the countries that I had mentioned. Na? So the Balkan route, usually, may image ako dyan guys if you would see, later on, may image tayo dyan. The Balkan route started to exist because of the war that is happening in Syria and Iraq. This have driven the different citizens of the countries involved in the war to seek asylum through the Balkan route. So na-activate siya kumbaga, naging lenient siguro ang paglabas-pasok ng mga tao diyan because of the war that is happening. And when we talk about those asylum seekers, sila na yung mga naiipit sa gera na gusto nang umalis sa kanilang bansa, at magma-migrate sa ibang bansa na pwedeng tumanggap sa kanila. And with that, na-open itong tinatawag nating Balkan route, wherein a path that usually begins in Turkey, that pwede na lang i-cross, hanggang papuntang Greece or Bulgaria. Usually, the migrants then make their way further north, eventually reaching yung countries natin in Slovenia or Hungary. And even sometimes reaching as far as Germany. With the opening of such route, dahil na-open yung route na yan, nagkaroon tayo ng pwedeng daalan dyan at nagkaroon ng leniency with regards to the entrance of exit of migrants there. They have the drug cartels have taken advantage of this to transfer their or to move their drugs from one country to another country. So imagine mo na lang that they could just magbayad ng mga tao na magbitbit ng kanilang mga illegal drugs habang sila ay sumasabay sa bugso ng mga migrants papunta sa mga countries na ito. So that could be the reason why there is an increase or there was that the Balkan route was used as one of the major route for trafficking. And there's more on that, guys. So it's not only that, kasi we're just talking about the operations conducted by the Golden Crescent. So what about the Golden Triangle? Meron yan sarili. But then usually, papasok lang China, Hong Kong, dispose sa Philippines, and so on. So meron din yan sariling traffic route. Okay? So that's the end of the topic of the lecture that I had prepared today for everyone. I do hope you learned something from this lecture, and it's now time for you to ask question if there is any. Okay guys, so meron kayong mga tanong?
Answer.
Thank you, former governor. Thank you, thank you. If there are no more questions, then what else should we do? Prepare already kasi malapit ng exam. If next week na yung exam, this will be the last lecture for prelim. So the coverage will be the entire lecture that we conducted. So it's good na na-upload ko na yung module natin, so you could just refer that. If may time pa tayo to have a long quiz, then I would prepare one. So really, wala nang tanong guys. Okay na tayo? Settled na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you learned something from this session. Thank you for attending. That's it for today. See you. next meeting.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Ingat, sir.
Thank you.
Ingat, sir. Bye po.
Bye po. Ingat din po.